Oliver Cowdery was Joseph Smith's main scribe while translating the Book of Mormon. He was a witness chosen to bear record of the divinity of the Book of Mormon. He personally saw other angels who restored the priesthood to him and Joseph Smith. Despite all these exceptional experiences, he eventually grew bitter towards some new members of the church's leadership and was excommunicated in April 1838. A decade later, Oliver returned and was rebaptized into the church. What caused Oliver to come back? During his time out of the church, Oliver was visited several times by Phineas Young, a devoted friend and Brigham Young's brother. After several conversations, Phineas reported to Brigham that Oliver's heart is still with his old friends. Oliver may have been further touched and moved toward returning when he heard of Joseph Smith's martyrdom. However, Oliver was mostly concerned that, if he was not cleared of the charges made against him at his excommunication, he could not stand as a credible witness of the restoration. He wrote to Phineas, "I have been sensitive on this subject, I admit, but I ought to be so. You would be, under the circumstances, had you stood in the presence of John with our departed brother Joseph to receive the lesser priesthood, and in the presence of Peter to receive the greater, and looked down through time and witnessed the effects these two must produce. You would feel what you have never felt, were wicked men conspiring to lessen the effects of your testimony on man, after you should have gone to your long-sought rest." After several years of riding back and forth with church leaders, Oliver felt that his honor had been sufficiently cleared, and thus he was finally ready to return, bearing strong testimonies of the Book of Mormon. In one report of one meeting, Oliver testified, "I wrote with my own pen the entire Book of Mormon, save a few pages, as it fell from the lips of the prophet Joseph Smith, as he translated it by the gift and power of God. I beheld with my eyes and handled with my hands the gold plates from which it was transcribed." At that time, Oliver was making plans to continue west with the saints, but his health soon began to fail rapidly. To the very end, on his sickbed, he was heard to say, "Jacob, I want you to remember what I say to you. I am a dying man, and what would it profit me to tell you a lie? I know that this Book of Mormon was translated by the gift and power of God. My eyes saw, my ears heard, and my understanding was touched, and I know that whereof I testified is true. It was no dream, no vain imagination of the mind. It was real." In good standing and fellowship in the church, he passed away on March 5th, 1850, in Richmond, Missouri. And now you know why.